Okay, in our previous lecture on reciprocals, we introduced you to the concept of reciprocals of numbers, and we went further to solve some classical examples. In this lecture, we shall be advancing into some further example on reciprocals of numbers. Here, we will begin with further example 2, because in our previous lecture, we were able to tackle further example 1. Now, let's go into the problem. Example 2 says, find the reciprocal of one whole number 1 over 2. Okay, our solution. Now remember, whenever we are asked to find the reciprocal, we simply say that reciprocal means 1 all over the number in which you are asked to determine its reciprocal. Okay, now let's solve the problem. But the first thing we are going to do is to convert one whole number 1 over 2 into an improper fraction. So converting this into an improper fraction, we are going to have, remember, to convert this, we'll say the denominator, that is 2 times 1, which is 2 plus 1, and that gives us 3. So this is what we have. One whole number 1 over 2 is equals to, when you are converting that, so we say 2 times 1, 2, plus the 1, which is the numerator, and that gives us 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. So on converting that, we have 3 over 2. Please, if you have problem in the conversion, we will advise you to quickly look at our lectures on fractions. Conversion from improper fraction to mixed fraction, and from mixed fraction to improper fraction. Okay, for the sake of this lecture, we are going to advance. Now, so having converted that, we now say, therefore, the reciprocal of 3 over 2 will now be equal to 1 all over 3 over 2 from our definition of reciprocals. So we say that when you have something like this, 1 all over 3 over 2, it means we are going to invert the fraction to have what? 2 over 3. So therefore, it means that the reciprocal of one whole number 1 over 2 is equals to what? 2 over 3. It's as simple as that. Okay. Now let's look at further example 3. Example 3 says, find the reciprocal of 0.04. 0.04, that's a decimal number. Now what we're going to do is to first and foremost convert this decimal number into a fraction. And so, converting that into a fraction, we are going to have, now look at it. It has 2 decimal places. That is, immediately after the decimal point, there are 2 digits. So because there are 2 digits, to convert that, that means we're going to divide it by 100. So we have 0.04 is equals to 4 over 100. And of course, if you check with your calculator, 4 over 100 gives us 0.04. If you have difficulty in converting that, you can check out our lectures on decimals and its conversion to fractions. So now, 4 over 100 is what we have. Then we have to reduce this 4 over 100 into its lowest term. So if we use, say, 2. 2 divides 4, it gives us 2. 2 divides 100, it gives us 50. Then that means we're having 2 over 50, which can still be further splitted. That's not the lowest form. So if you now use 2 again to divide them, you say 2 goes into 2, which is 1. And then 2 goes into 50, which is what? 25. So when you reduce 4 over 100 into its lowest term, we are going to be having what? 1 over 25. Now, so we have to find the reciprocal of that 1 over 25. So the reciprocal of 1 over 25 is equals to 1 all over 1 over 25. Of course, according to our rule, we are going to invert that. So we now have 25 over 1. So 25 over 1 is equals to what? 25. It therefore means that the reciprocal of 0.04 is equals to what? 25. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's look at example 4. Example 4 says, find the reciprocal of 122.5. That's still a decimal number. But immediately after the decimal point, there is only 1 digit. So now the first thing we have to do is to convert that decimal number into a fraction. On conversion, what do we have? We say 122.5 will now be equals to, remember, because it has only one digit after the decimal point, so we're going to be dividing it by what? 10. So it's equals to 1225 all over 10. Of course, if you divide that with your calculator, 1225 over 10, it will give you 122.5. So having converted that, we still encourage you, if you're having difficulties in conversion, go back to our lectures on decimals. Okay, so having converted that, we have 1225 over 100 over 10, sorry. So therefore, if you further reduce that to the lowest term, let's say we use 5. 5 goes into 1225 is 245. Then 5 goes into 10 is 2. So 2245 over 2 is the lowest term of 1225 over 10. Therefore, it means that the reciprocal of that 245 over 2 will be equals to 1 all over 245 over 2. And according to our laws of reciprocal, we are going to invert this to have what? 2 over 245. It therefore means that the reciprocal of 122.5 is equals to 2 over 245. Of course, if you want to have your answer in decimal form, you can use your calculator to split that. Okay, we are going to stop here for today and we'll give you something to play with. But note, reciprocals of numbers can also be determined using the tables of reciprocals. If you look at your 4-figure table, there is a table there called the table of reciprocals. So if you don't want to solve it this way, you can always use your table, or you can actually use a scientific calculator by simply saying 1 over any number. So if I give you any number and I ask you to find the reciprocal, just use your calculator and say 1 divided by that number, and that is the reciprocal. Okay, take down this and play with it. Leisure work. Now the first question is, what is the reciprocal of 4.95? The second question is, what is the reciprocal of 0.4? Okay, solve this, then write your answer in the comment space below. See you in our next lectures. Thank you very much.